Hey everyone, how's it going? Let's take a look at how to set up the Pocket client. So we're going to run through installing the program as well as some of the initial configurations to get it running for the very first time. And since the HUD is part of the Pocket client, maybe we'll play a few hands at the end and see the HUD in action as well. We're going to do this from an Apple computer running Mac OS, aka OS X. But the process is pretty much the same for Windows. It's just kind of Windowsified in the installation steps. We have a video showing pretty much the same thing as this, but for Windows. If you want to click on that, the link's down in the description. So we're going to start here on the download page, which is part of the Pocket Help Center. But since we're here on macOS, I'm going to just click the download link in this section for it and wait for it to download. Okay, cool. And so all we have to do to install it is open up that DMG file that we downloaded. And since we're on a Mac, I'm going to drag the application icon over into the applications folder here and let go. And that little sound meant that it finished installing, so you don't need that window or that one anymore. And you can launch the Pocket client either from the Launchpad here, or if you're in Finder, you have the applications list in there. But since I'm already in Launchpad, I'm just going to click that one and click open on that. All right, so next you're going to log into your Pocket account on this window. I'm going to use one of our dev accounts here and click login. Alright, this should be the very first screen you see when you log in for the first time. So the way Pocket works, of course, is by uploading hand histories to our servers, and these are generated by the poker sites as you play poker. We take these hand histories and turn them into databases and crunch numbers to give you products like the HUD and all the visualizations and everything. So for that to happen, we need to tell Pocket where the hand histories are stored on your computer. With this screen, we've gone ahead and scanned some common locations, such as the default PokerStars location, since I play on PokerStars, and found some hand histories here. So all I have to do is make sure that this is checked and click Add Selected Directories. If you have hand history stored somewhere else that we didn't detect automatically, you can find them manually through the Add Directory button, or you can scan again for those common locations with this button here. And so now that I've added my PokerStars location, I can click Save. And it's also worth pointing out right now that the Pocket application is running up here in the system tray. And we can see it as the Pocket logo, which is this little pie poker chip. And if you click on it, you get all these options like turning on and off the HUD, the settings window, or configuring the HUDs, things like that. So I also want to point out real quick, at least for PokerStars, how you confirm that you have hand histories being stored on your computer. You go into the settings window on PokerStars, and then you click playing history and then hand history. And make sure that this check mark is checked here for save my hand history. And this says the location that it's saving on your computer. This is the same location that we saw on the Pocket window a second ago for my hand history. So all this is in order for me. You might want to double check that this is working this way for you as well. So without further ado, maybe we'll hop into a table. I'm just going to play a quick micro and maybe do a montage or something while I wait for hands to get dealt. And I'm not very good at playing and talking at the same time anyway, so we'll speed this up a little bit. So right before you get the HUD for the very first time, you might see this window, which is asking you to confirm which players you want to be treated as heroes in these data sets. A hero is yourself, and then you're surrounded by opponents at the poker table. We have some systems on our end for detecting who's a hero and who isn't, but this is like another level of check to make sure that you're getting the right data. So we have the HUD now. You can see it over every player and a bunch of stats and numbers underneath each player. You can change the way these boxes look by editing the HUD style. So perhaps I want a little more space between everything. I'm going to bump up the row spacing and the stat spacing. Maybe I want a different background color as well. like a gray instead. And you might notice I've got a little note written about myself here, and I can just click on that to take more notes about myself or any other player. Maybe tag them with a few tags, and yeah, maybe finally you can go in and edit how the HUD looks and choose what stats are on each row, and maybe even add in another row, or have different HUDs entirely that you can choose from, and to limit relevant sources of data based on game type for each player to come into your HUD stats and so on. So I hope you have fun with the Pocket client and the Pocket HUD. Check out the Help Center if you have any other questions, and you can always reach out to us as well. And good luck at the tables.